Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Machine Gods of the NOXIAN Expanse from Blackoath Entertainment, a game where you are in what seems to be a fantasy world with magic, but it is in fact a post-apocalyptic world where it's not magic, it's actually technology. This is gameplay video number 11, I think. In the last video, we came across Kari, and he was being attacked by an Echo Knight. We did manage to overcome the Echo Knight, but it was very close. I think the creature got me down to 2 health. Kari did pass away, but he did give us some decent directions to how to get into the pyramid, which we are searching for, because we did roll a critical success when we were trying to find out the directions. However, when we found the pyramid by following his instructions, we couldn't find the entrance. I think I had to roll a 4+ on a d20. Anyway, it is a new day because we did find somewhere to sleep. We recovered a little bit of health. We recovered 8 health. We're now back up to 10. Still need to find our way in. Now we are here to try and find out what's happened to the heir of the sort of controlling noble house of this area. Some tech cultists have basically taken him. Nobody knows exactly why at the moment, whether it's for ransom, whether it's for conversion into their cult. Nobody really knows. But it seems that their hideout, which is this pyramid, the twisted pyramid of the dark path, is not empty. It's not sort of only them that's inhabiting the place. There seems to be some old, ancient sort of cyborgs, robots, technological wonders. I mean, we think they're magical, but yeah, it seems that they're not alone. So going into the pyramid could be very, very interesting. Now, a couple of things to sort of round off from the last session. We didn't add the XP. I have done that now. So we earned 4 XP. So I've added that there. So we've now got 20. Nothing to get excited about just yet because I think you need 50 to go up to level 2. It's a bit of a slow progression. Also, I forgot to roll for the loot. We have actually got to roll once on the scavenging table. And I also have to check the arrow usage die. So a couple of things that we have to do before we start actually playing the game. So let's do the usage die for the arrow first, because we did use them in the last combat. So the arrows are UD8, which means usage die 8. So what happens is that after every combat where you're using arrows or bolts or sort of sling stones, for example, you have to roll to see whether the quantity of your arrows has gone down sufficiently to be of concern. So what you do is you roll the usage die. If it comes up a 1 or 2, it goes down to the next usage die. In this case, it would go down to a D6, usage die 6. If it gets down to a D4 and you roll a 1 or 2, basically that consumable has run out. So let's see if we have any issues. No, we're fine. We're fine. Whew. So we've still got a usage die of 8 for our arrows. They haven't gone down by a significant amount yet. What else? Okay, so we do have to now check for the loot, because I did forget. 1 roll on the scavenging table. Now what I really, really want, is to get a resonance core. Yeah, resonance cores they're like power cells. They're the things that can sort of power relics. And relics are the things that give you spell-like abilities. Because again, there isn't really magic in this world. It's actually technology that sort of produces like spell-like effects. And I have found a relic in a previous video, a relic of paralyze. But again, I need a resonance core to use it. So the paralyze is a pendant, target number of 8, range of nearby. A will versus strength check, a success means the target is restrained, which is going to make them a lot easier to hit, of course. But I need a resonance core for me to actually use the thing. At the moment, it's just a sort of dead, out of power component. So we do roll on the scavenging table, which is here. We're rolling a d20. Let's hope we get lucky. So I need to roll relic, right? To have a chance of getting a resonance core. Let us see what we get. So rolling a d20. We get a 16. Oh, relic. Okay. Good. Now, I don't actually want another relic. I actually want a resonance core. So on a 1 to 4, we get a resonance core with UD4. So again, every time you use the relic to do a spell, you've got to check to see whether it runs out of power, and then you've got to sort of recharge it. On a 5, you get a superior resonance core, which is a usage dice 6. Much better. Last time I rolled up this one, the pendant-shaped relic, and you roll to see a random spell. So basically I want a 1 to 5, basically. D20 again, let's see what we get. 17. We get a ring-shaped relic. Roll on the spell list table to determine its properties, okay? So we've got 2 relics now. We've got a... was it pendant? I can't remember what we got exactly last time, but we've got another relic. Let's say that this one's a pendant, this one's a ring. So we've got another relic. So it's a ring-based one this time. And we have to roll for a random spell. So again, D20. Is that on the camera? Yeah, that's on the camera, right. 15, neutralize poison. Okay, neutralize poison. Remove the poisoned condition from a single target. So that could be very useful if we come up against something that can poison us. Now, where did I see the conditions? Poisoned. The character takes D4 damage start of every round, and the target number of all actions they perform is shifted up. It's not cumulative. Okay, so it's just one thing. As a free action, a PC can make a hard constitution check at the end of each round to neutralize the poison, but this would do it automatically. But is it automatically? No, target number of 10. Still going to be a lot easier, isn't it? Okay, I'm not dissatisfied with that. I'm quite happy with that, actually, to be honest. But I need resonance cores. I can't use either of these relics without resonance cores. There we go. And I think, if I remember correctly, and again, it's been a while, I think in the book it basically says that you can't purchase relics and resonance cores at the merchants. I mean, I can understand maybe the fact maybe you couldn't purchase relics, but resonance cores? I mean, it says here, relics and artifacts, no common merchant would even begin to know how much to offer you for them. I mean, in terms of purchasing from you. Some city-states offer special bounties for these sorts of items, though, in an attempt to limit their availability to potential enemies. So, like I said, I don't think it's part of the game to actually be able to purchase relics or resonance cores, which is troublesome if you can't find the bloomin' things. But anyway, better than nothing. So let's move the book out of the way. So we are at scene 3, and we said for scene 3 it's going to be the chapter of the story where we travel to the pyramid, try to catch Kari and find the entrance to the pyramid. Now, we've done everything except find the entrance. We found the pyramid, but we need to find that entrance, and then scene 3 will be complete, and we can move on to scene 4, which I think will be entering the pyramid and trying to find out exactly what's going on with the tech cultists. We've got to find this entrance. So, back to our notebook. Roll for the loot, check the usage die. Okay, we've done that. So, if you get a good night's rest, you get 2 exploration turns per day. You can use 1 turn to do things such as moving to an adjacent square on the grid. So you could move, for example, from the pyramid to the Deviant Memorial. You can also do things like foraging or hunting. But you can also, for example, explore the grid that you're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend one of my turns to do some foraging, try and find some rations. I mean, I'm not lacking in rations. I think I've got like 14 left, but you know, you can always do with more. And then for the second exploration turn, I think I'm going to very carefully skirt around the sort of clearing in the forest and try and spot the entrance to the pyramid, because Kari did say we've got to look out for a yellow rock or a yellow boulder. Couldn't find it in the previous day, maybe because it was getting darker, but we're going to use our second exploration turn for that. Now I've put here, check for encounter question mark. Normally you only roll for encounters in a grid when you first enter, but I'm thinking that because Kari was attacked by something from the pyramid, at least that's what I'm assuming, it was a Echo Knight. I'm kind of thinking that there is a chance that either tech cultists or something else in the pyramid may see me. I don't know, but I'm thinking that I'm going to check for an encounter. Maybe it's going to be quite a low chance of having an encounter, but we'll see how we do. So we wake up in the morning, check everything's still with us, make sure there's no big beasties nearby looking for breakfast, and I'm going to forage in the nearby forest. So to forage, we need, one exploration turn. It requires an average dex check. Success results in D4 rations. Every PC can attempt this once per square. So if I do that today, I can't do it tomorrow. Ooh, for some reason I thought that was once per day. Okay, it's once per square. Well, I haven't done it in F5 yet, where we have the forest. So, okay, we can do that today, but I won't be able to do it if I need to tomorrow, because I don't want to go into the pyramid just yet, because I've only got 10 health. I've got a 22 max, so I'm going to need to spend at least one more night recuperating. I do have medical supplies, but to be honest, they don't do a lot. They don't heal a lot, and you've got to make, I think it's an intelligence check to use them. So I'd rather sort of have a good rest of the night and then get D8 back. So we are going to try and forage. It's going to be a average dexterity check. My dex is +2. So average at +2 is 13. Actually, because we've been using the dynamic target number table pretty much for the whole game so far. I'm thinking maybe, for a change, maybe we'll switch to the sort of basic difficulty table this time. Because the game does give you the option. I mean, the dynamic target numbers gives you a little bit of flexibility in terms of modifying, but using a sort of standard target number system can also work very, very easily. So it is an average dex check. So average is suggested target number is 14. I have a dex of +2, so I need a 12 plus. 16, we succeed. So we managed to get D4 rations. Okay. I get a 3. So we get 3 rations. Yeah, I think at least for this session, maybe for next session as well, let's use the basic target number system rather than the dynamic system, so you can see how they both work in the game. Right, so we get three rations. So I've now got 17 rations. I've got plenty of food. 17. Good. I've got 20 torches. I've got loads of torches. 2 medical supplies, 7 sacks, and still got UD8 of arrows. Okay, we're doing all right. So we need to find this entrance to the pyramids. We've done our foraging, and that is the first exploration turn. Now we come to the second exploration turn. We need to seek the entrance to the pyramid. So, like I say, we tried this the day before, couldn't find it, so we're going to try again today. I think last time I gave myself an almost certain chance on the Oracle, which basically means a 4 or higher, and I rolled a 3. So again, based on that, I think I'm going to give myself the same chance on a 4 or higher, because again, we rolled a critical for the directions from Kari. We can still screw it up again, of course, but I've got to think in terms of this encounter. What's the chance that I will actually get an encounter? Now, I think it's going to be a fairly low chance, because like I say, the game basically says that when you enter a grid square, you roll for an event. After that, it doesn't actually specify that you have to roll for encounters or events. So I'm going to roll for the encounter first, I think. And I think it's going to be very unlikely that we have an encounter, because I don't think the pyramid is something where they want to advertise that somebody's home, whether it's the tech cultists or the other occupants, these kind of ancient robot skeleton things or zombie things. We get a 9, so we do not get an encounter. And we're now going to be looking for the entrance to the pyramid. So again, we've been very careful going around the edge of the forest, trying to keep in cover all the time. But we are looking for this yellow rock or yellow boulder. So it sounds like the entrance is behind that. So we're going again with almost certain, which means I need a 4 or higher to find the entrance. We get a 6. That's good. That's okay. We found the entrance. So we did succeed with the forage, and we got +3 rations. So we did not get an encounter, but we did find the entrance to the pyramid. Great. Now, I'm still not, even though now I've found the entrance, I'm not going to go in yet because I'm not healthy enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat some rations. Have a kip, have a nice night's rest. Again, I think I'll roll to see whether I get a good night's rest or whether it's kind of interrupted. I'm thinking that if it's interrupted, I may only get like half the recovery. I think last time, I gave myself a likely chance of having a good night's sleep, an 8 or higher. So let's see if we do. And like I say, I think if I don't get a good night's sleep, I think I only get half the recovery or half the health points. We get a 12, which is higher. So we do get a good night's sleep, which means I get 8 hit points back again. Oh, sorry, D8. No! Looks like we're going to be spending another day here. But I can't forage anymore, can I? So we're now up to 11 health. Should I go in? I don't want to keep doing this. This is not going to make for an interesting video. So we get back 1 health. So I'm on half. I mean, if I find somewhere inside the pyramid that I could sort of hide out and get some kip possibly, that might work, I suppose. But since we have found the entrance to the pyramid, scene 3 is done. So when we wake up, we're a little bit better, not by much. I have healed a little bit. I've used my ration already. So we are going to get 2 exploration turns. However, scene 3 is now complete. We're moving on to scene 4. Now, did the previous scene go well or did it go badly? It didn't go well, but it wasn't a failure. We did manage to find Kari. We managed to defeat what was attacking him, even though we couldn't actually save him. He did give us directions, and we have, well, on the second attempt, found the entrance to the pyramid. So I think it was more positive than negative. So I'm not going to give myself any modifiers, so it resets to 0. Okay. So in scene 4, we are going to enter the pyramid. And find the tech cultists, I think. Now, do I want to add another point where I have to rescue? I mean, because when I'm going to treat the pyramid as a ruin, even though it's actually a landmark, I'm going to treat it as a ruin, which means it's going to be like a dungeon. I don't know how big it's going to be. It could be huge. So if I add something here about rescuing the captive, the heir for the house, for the noble house, and sort of escaping the pyramid, that could be a huge scene. That may be too much. So I'm thinking that I'll enter the pyramid and maybe find the tech cultists, and that will be scene 4, and then maybe scene 5 will be the rescue attempt and the escape attempt. I think that's what we're going to be doing. But we do have to find out whether there is a twist. So go to page 39. So without any modifiers, so we don't have any modifiers this time, it's going to be a 1 in 6 chance of having a twist. Now, so far, every scene has had a twist. A twist is where the sort of the events that happen, the narrative diverts from what you want or what you expect. So let's see. Don't want that. I'd like to have a scene where I don't have a twist, to be honest. 6, yes. Okay, great. We don't have a twist this time. Okay, so no twist. Great. So the plan is simple. Enter, find the tech cultists, and then we'll work out in the next scene, scene 5, how to rescue and get out. So we are going to be entering the pyramid, so we're going to need a new dungeon. All right, just put a bit of details here. So we've got to roll up what size the pyramid's going to be. This usage die is to determine essentially what's going to be the maximum number of rooms in the inside the pyramid. But I'm also going to add a timer because I'm thinking that if I roll up events, they may not be anything sort of specific to actually finding the tech cultists and finding the hostage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a timer to this sort of exploration. And when the timer runs out, then the next room will have the tech cultists and the hostage. So I'm doing it as a usage die 6. So every room I go through, I'm going to be rolling that, and then when it goes to a 1 or 2 on a d4, that means that the next room, the following room that I go into, is going to have the tech cultists. I'm doing it in such a way that we don't end up exploring this absolutely huge pyramid and still don't find the tech cultists. Because I want the story to progress at least a little bit. It could still go on for a hell of a long time if I don't roll a 1 or 2 on the UD6. Now we need to roll up the pyramid size, because again I want to use the ruins rules for the pyramid. Exploring settlements, ruins, right. So we roll a d10 to find out the size of the ruin. I think the ruins in E6, I think was a d10 in terms of size. I think we rolled a 7 or 8. But let's see how we do. For this pyramid, it's going to be a 10. Oh my God, yes. No. Having a timer is a brilliant idea. So it's a labyrinthian size. It's going to be UD20. This inside this pyramid is going to be huge. Okay. So what that means is that every time we go into a room, we've got to roll a d20. On a 1 or 2, it goes down to a d12. On a 1 or 2, it goes down to a d10, etc., etc., etc. So this is going to be a big pyramid in terms of the number of rooms and corridors and stuff. So yes, we are definitely going to need that timer. Okay. So it also says we've got to roll up for conditions. Now, I think for the ruins last time, I didn't do that because everything was bad. There was no sort of basic empty kind of ruin, you know. There was always something which was going to be screwing you up. Extreme cold, your maximum health is reduced by d6. Extreme heat, toxic, difficult, darkness. There's nothing normal, you know what I mean? So I don't think I rolled last time. Should I roll this time? See, if you get toxic, the air's not fully breathable here. Each time you end a fight, you suffer D4 damage due to inhaling too many toxins. I don't think I'm going to roll for the conditions. So what else? Okay, if you enter a room, roll on the room contents and the room detail tables to learn more about it. Okay. Determine the number of exits by rolling D4. Now I did actually change that to D4 minus 1 because I wanted to have the option of there being sort of a dead end, so it'd have no exits. Because if you're rolling a D4, there's automatically going to be at least one exit from every room. But by having that sort of minus 1, it allows you to have a dead end. And by doing the D4 minus 1 as being the additional exits, not the one that you come in, it gives you a range of 0 to 3, which I think is still good enough. Every time you enter a new area, you've got to roll a D10. A 1 to 3 means you run into trouble. If there's no encounter and you've entered a room, roll on the events. Once you've cleared a room, you can search it. When you're ready to leave, pick an exit. Determine if the next area is a room or corridor. Okay, so corridors, you roll a D8 to find out the length. For a room, you roll 2D6, one being X, one being Y. Now, I did actually receive, very generous from Toby Lancaster, I did actually receive a set of 2D6 dungeon dice. 2D6 Dungeon, another great game, by the way. And I'm going to be rolling these because look, they got X and Y. So these are really, really good for doing dungeon games where you're rolling sort of 2D6s for the size of the rooms. These are really good. And they're actually really nice dice as well. They're lovely. Thanks again, Toby, for that. I appreciate that. Now, the first room doesn't have anything of interest. There are no encounters or events. From there on, though, you must roll. Okay, so for the first room, we'll just roll for size and number of exits. We're going to roll for our first room. So we're going to enter here. Actually, let's give myself a bit more space. So we'll come in here. That'll be the entrance there. Okay. So we're rolling for the size of the entrance room. Okay, I'm going to re-roll that one because if it's 1, it's a corridor, right? Okay, so it's a 2 by 4 room, so X and Y. So X, it's only 2 across, but it's 4 down. How many exits? We're doing D4 minus 1. So this is a 2, so there's 1 exit. So I'm going to do it so that the exit is at the far end. So 4 by 2 down to here, and we'll put the exit in the far end of the room. Now, I think in 2D6 Dungeon, you actually have to roll to find out which of the walls you can put the doors. But I think with Machine Gods, you can do whatever you want. So this is going to be room 1. It's the entrance room, so no need to roll anything, but there is only 1 exit. Also for the entrance room, I'm not going to be rolling for the usage die for size or the timer usage die. But we are now going to go into... Oh, actually, hang on. Should I make a roll to see whether the entrance to the pyramid is trapped? No, I don't think so. Because the next room could have a trap. I shouldn't say that, should I? It's going to happen now, isn't it? All right, so we are moving into room 1. We're going to come to the exit here. We are now going to go out from that room. So we're rolling a D10. Where's the D10? There's a D10. On a 1 to 4, it's a corridor. On a 5 to 10, it's a room. A 2. So we have a corridor. Now a corridor is D8. Only 2. Number of exits. Oops, hang on. Number of exits 3. Okay, that's possible. We can work with that. So the corridor is literally going to be in the same profile as this. So we're going to have 3 exits. So 1, 2, 3. So it really is a crowded little corridor. Now I did, on the previous map, I did actually number the corridors because there is a chance of something being in here. So this is going to be number 2, area number 2, first corridor. So when you enter a room, you've got to roll for contents and details. If it's a corridor, no need to worry. But we do have to roll a d10. On a 1 to 3, it means we run into trouble. Uh-oh. So d10, we got a 1. We run into trouble. Oh no, we have to roll on the encounters table. We've literally come out. We've literally come out the entrance room into the first corridor, and we've already run into something. So yeah. Area 2, corridor, encounter. Oh no, what are we going to come up against? Okay, so in the ruins encounter, let's have something simple. Now, I'm thinking that we'll roll up what we get and then we'll have the combat in the next video. If we survive that, the combat will continue on our search. So we're rolling a d20. Okay, so what have we had so far? We've had an Echo Knight. We've had a Glass Mother. Have we had anything else? I don't think we've had anything else, have we? No, okay. Let's see what we get. So we're rolling a d20. We get an 8. Another Glass Mother. Oh no. Well, at least I've got one painted up. It's an invasion of Glass Mothers. They're everywhere. My first character was killed by one. My second character actually managed to dispatch that Glass Mother fairly easily when he came across it, but I don't know. I don't know how, because they're glass cannons, literally. Glass Mother is a glass cannon. Hits hard, but tends to shatter once it gets hit in an exchange. So, okay. Well, that's the end of this video. Join me in the next one, which is going to be gameplay number 12, and we will fight yet another Glass Mother. Right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Join me in the next video for the combat with Glass Mother number 3, or is it number 2? Anyway, take care. Stay safe. Cheers.